Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zixuan Zeng. I am a PhD candidate in the Faculty of Logistics and Digital Supply Chain in Naresuan University, a city called Phitsanulok in Thailand. Today, I'm going to present my papers. The topic of my papers is a review paper and is the environmental issues and social responsibility, a scientometric analysis using Citespace. So next, I'm going to talk about my abstract. The environmental issue and social responsibility have a significant importance on the natural ecological system and economic development. So it is important to find the relative balanced path between the environmental and the economic development. The previous studies have sought to explore the environmental and social responsibility rather than seek solutions from a scientometric perspectives. And there seems to be a lack of scientometric quantitative review of periodic solution or details. So to identify the multiple impacts and the relationship between environmental issue and social responsibility, and also to illustrate the emergency trends and challenges, this paper proposed a scientometric review based on 1,336 articles published from 2001 and 2001 to 2020 through a co-occurrence analysis and co-citation analysis together with the cluster and burstiness analysis to review the depth and the breadth of the emerging research. And this research demonstrates the research paradigm of environmental issue and social responsibility, extending from a single stakeholder level to a systematic strategic perspective of multiple organizations and stakeholders. The result provides the researchers and the practitioners with a deeper understanding of future and direction and also implications. First, I would like to do my introduction. For many scholars and experts, they have been concerned about the environmental issue for a long time and consider it a strategy by many corporates. And meanwhile, the discussion on social responsibility has never stopped in academic circles. After one of the representative scholar, Carroll, he proposed a three-dimensional model and conducted the evaluation of social responsibility. After that, numerous scholars were exploring the relationship between social responsibility and other variables, especially from the corporate aspect. This includes the strategic implication of social responsibility and financial performance, and also Islamic religious education. And one of the most controversial issues on infrastructure is building mega projects. It costs many social resources and environmental resources, and they are never just a scaled down version of small projects. In the middle of 2010s, Professor Zeng, he proposed a concept of mega project social responsibility. The concept refers to the social responsibility of major infrastructure projects involving the policies and practices of the stakeholder who participated through the whole project life cycle that reflect the responsibilities for the well-being of wider society. This is an intelligent corporate concept combined with the development trends, people's needs, and social responsibility, also environmental issues. in my understanding, involving the policies and practices of this concept means that the policies means how will you do, and the practices means the policy means what should I do, and the practices means how should I do. This is the meaning of my understanding. And next, the mega project can bring huge benefits like pooling effect on economy, regional influence, employment, increasing the employment, and disaster protection. However, it also has some drawbacks. For example, the environmental problems and the socio-economic issues. Therefore, the environmental compensation is as vital as technology, economics, culture, and supervision. It has received significant attention from many stakeholders. The essential environmental compensation means that the beneficiary of ecosystem services provide a conditional payment system to the environmental income service provider to achieve environmental protection through incentive or reward. This is the meaning of the traditional meaning of environmental compensation. So my research objectives in general, environmental degradation regulation have been introduced to solve those serious problems, but the activities are still lacking in consistency and improvement. So this paper aims to illustrate the transformation of environmental issue from a corporate level to a strategic level through antecedent studies using scientometric analysis. So the first objective is to identify the development of environmental issues and social responsibility, and the published journal article from 2001 to 2020 using the subject category co-occurrence network. And the second objective is to determine the holistic research state of art in environmental issue and social responsibility through the co-occurring keyword analysis and document co-citation analysis, as well as business analysis to illustrate the abrupt changes and emergency change of the development in this research area. And so my research methodology will be that I'm using the data from the Web of Science and then pay as my scientometric data for research sampling. It consists with the core collection because the SCI is banded, SSCI, AHCI, and ESCI. Both resources are important and positively quite high influencing in academic area. So firstly, we did a pre-analysis was conducted with the retrieval code. The retrieval code is illustrated in here, the environmental management and social responsibility. After that, after we catch the keywords from the peer-reviewed reviews and article to find out the similar terms, the research rules finally is this one environmental compensation or environmental offset or compensatory mitigation and social responsibility CSR and CSI, and finally we retrieve a total of 1,336 papers. So this paragraph, this figure shows that the distribution of the 1,336 papers of each year. As you can see that from 2001 to 2020, it shows an increasing trend, especially starting from the 2013. There is a sharply increasing of this kind of research area. I would like to briefly explain about the scientometric analysis. This method includes auto-citation analysis, document co-citation analysis, and co-word analysis. It is based on the mathematical statistics and computing techniques. This is essential to understand that transient articles change the perspective and development of the scientific field. Internal and external the causes are included when the style of a specific research field suddenly changed and emerging area. We researched the abstract title and keywords for selected papers from the Web of Science and put the record into the tools called Citespace software. This is a tool that demonstrates the excellent bibliography visualization using to analyze the kind of literature. It can uniquely represent research frontiers and knowledge bases. The evaluation of research frontiers and literature that plays a key role in the evaluation process. This tool was developed by Professor Chen Chaomei and his team. So he has the right to, when you're using the Citespace, you must cite his Professor Chen's papers. And my result and the discussion, I put few results and part of my paper. I put a few research result and discussion in this paper. If you want to read the full explaining, you can read my papers. Yes, and this one is the subject category co-occurrence network. As you can see that this is the figure. It is the figure of the subject category co-occurrence network. It is important to read the figures before you know what is meaning. Firstly, the size of the nodes represents the number of the papers in this subject. For example, business and economy, the size of the node is the largest, which means that the most papers published in this subject. And in addition, the edge in the red color in the edge of the circle represent the centrality of this subject. In this case, subject in this subject. The centrality. What's the meaning of centrality? The centrality means that this subject plays an important role as it's like a bridge between different subjects, and how we link other subjects together. We link the other subject based on this high centrality subject. So as you can see in here, the engineering and environmental with the largest centrality. And this one is the top 20 research area of the environmental issue and social responsibility. The x-axis representing the occurrence of the subject occur, the times of the subject. As you can see that there are 20, the most top 20 subjects, including business and economic, environmental, science and ecological management, and from the top, from the large number to the lower numbers. And come back to this picture. This represents the This representing to extend the research field on environmental and ecology issues. which means that it is important to pay more attention to the balance between the environment and ecologic development. Yes, the higher sensuality discipline is the bridge between them. Engineering and the environmental, like we mentioned before, with the sensuality of 1.29. Actually, the sensuality, if the sensuality is more than 0.1, that means the sensuality is relatively high. And next is the keyword co-occurrence network. In this figure, it consists of 199 nodes and 1,638 links. The size of the nodes is proportional to the frequency of the keyword occurrence. We would like to introduce the top 15 keywords, which is the corporate social responsibility with the frequency of 643, and strategic management, performance, sustainability, social responsibility until the supply chain management. It is important to mention that corporate social responsibility and CSR actually is the same, in which many scholars are studying on it. And why there is another keyword, social responsibility? Because the social responsibility rank 6, since the responsibility should not be only from the corporate perspectives. And next is the briskness of the keyword co-occurrence network. The briskness demonstrates the most significant research area, and the number of citation increased rapidly over a short period of time. So in these keywords, there are totally 30 keywords with the strongest citation burst were detected. Their top 5 are stakeholder management, issue, perspective, ethics, and economic performance, with the period of its emergence. And more recently, from this one is from the whole picture, and this one is from more recently from 2017 to 2020. The environmental disclosure, CSR, stakeholder engagement, institutional theory, and reputation, they illustrate that during this period, scholars were paying more attention on the more recent period from the 2017 to 2020. Next is the document co-citation network and clusters. Actually, this is the as you can see, there are many square in this picture. The large size, the size of the square also depending on the papers, and as you can see, the color is different. The dark, if the color is darker, means that the time is older. The color is lighter, means the time is newer. For example, this may be from the 2020, and this might be from the 2001, and this might be coming from the 2020. So in this paragraph, in this picture, it consists of 341 nodes and 432 links. The weighting algorithm is following the LLR to ensure the precision of the clustering. This is inside the algorithm is inside the Citespace, the software. They set the algorithm inside the software. And it is essential to mention that the modularity Q is equal to, in this picture, is equal to 0.7607, which is higher than the standard levels. The standard level Q is more than 0.3, which is relatively high. So it means that these clusters are justified by being divided into loosely coupled clusters. Since there are a lot of small clusters as a result of the mean stereo rate, the mean stereo rate is a little bit low, which is a relatively low value and equal to 0.5098. Mostly the MS is more than 0.7, but it's reasonable because there are many small clusters. As a result of the MS is lower than 0.7. And next, this is the top 7 clusters, top 7 co-citation clusters of this research area. And in this table, it shows that the size of clusters is depending on the papers, number of papers. For example, the cluster 0, the size is 45, means that there are 45 papers in these clusters. And the mean year means that the average year of the papers published, and the cluster label and the representative literature from the portal. Yes, as you can see that the silhouette value of the largest cluster is smaller than the silhouette value of the smallest cluster. It is because that the consists of also the smallest cluster is also consists as a higher degree of homogeneity. Yes, it's also as we explained before, it is because of the many the bigger size of the data, the MS value will be lower. It's reasonable. And next is the top 20 articles with the highest citation. We work out the top 20 citations and read through these papers. And then after that, we classified into different research fields, including the corporate social responsibility, which is the paper coming from number 1 and 12. The competitive advantage of national and CSR, which is number of 2 and 6. CSR works and financial performance, resource-based view, stakeholder environment strategy, sustainability issue, and also we in addition, there are 144 business articles were detected. It is important to mention that the social responsibility and strategic CSR and environmental strategy are not research, a hot research field, since it is covered by by cluster 0, 1, 4, and 6. Hence, 4 research topics could be identified. The first one is the sustainable supply chain management, the CSR with stakeholder management and corporate financial performance. And next is the author co-citation network. The reading of the figure is the same as we mentioned before. And I would like to emphasize that the Michael E. Porter, Hunt, and Pratima Bansal, Sanja Sarma, and Abalagia McWilliams, those authors' nationalities illustrate that articles on social responsibility and environmental issue area have received widespread attention in the US, UK, and Canada. We can explain the data by using the authors' nationalities. And next is the journal co-citation network. As you can see that there are 184 various journals in these figures. And this revealed that the research on social responsibility and environment issues cover various research fields. The note larger size means the same meaning means more paper, small size means small paper, and the red edge in the circle means that the centrality is relatively high. So we summarize the top 10 journals with the highest co-citation frequency. As you can see that the Journal of Business and Ethics is the first, the highest number 1. And also we find 55% journals. The top 5 are Journal of Environmental Economy and Management, Social Responsibility Journal, British Journal of Management, Accounting, Auditing and Accountability Journal, and the Journal of Economic Perspectives. These are the top 5 first journals. And conclusions. Firstly, the several research subjects related to the after we analysis, the several research related to business, economy, environment science, ecology, management, business, environmental studies, and science technology. They has acquired the most documentations. And secondly, through the method called keyword co-occurrence, document co-citation, we found out that this research has found a shift in the research paradigm in this field, from focusing on a single level of environmental issue to the emphasizing broad organizational strategies, and from the individual or even government-centered perspective to a wide range of organizations and stakeholders, and even the entire ecological perspectives. And besides, we also find that a sustainable supply chain may assist in this balancing act, but it's much more research is needed. We also face some challenges. Firstly, is we use the database of Web of Science database. So also, the Scopus is another reliable database that may be used in the future. And secondly, even though that there are 1,336 papers identified by this Scientomeric method, but the topic coverage of the identified papers may depend mainly on the author's subjective judgments. This week is quite challenging and hard to solve questions. So we have some future research to recommend. Firstly, the guide refers to stakeholder participation in environmental issue from a systematic viewpoint is a good research field. And secondly, the direction of establishing a social responsibility-based framework and embedded into supply chain management and sustainability is also another good research field. Thirdly, the direction of environmental strategy from not only from a small field, but also could be either a country or a specific area. In addition, the most important and essential rules is the legitimacy, followed by another social responsibility aspect to support local development and environmental friendly equilibrium. So last but not the least, thank you for your listening. And if you have any questions and comments, feel free to ask and leave the message to me. Thank you.